brothers and sisters that we have today in this so-called conscious community, I like to call it a conscious mess, but whatever, I'm using it for lack of a better term. They are the byproducts of prior conditioning just now coming into forms of realization after they've been conditioned for decades. So you can't condition me for decades and I have a year of reading a whole bunch of books about how great we are, and you truly gonna think that conditioning is not still there to some extent?
Yeah, to a degree.
It will still be there.
Yeah.
Because the same way it took 10 to 20 years to condition you, it probably will take 10 to 20 years to reprogram you.
Yeah.
And this is why you have a lot of brothers now using consciousness as a form of tool or trap to get other things. Instead of being utilized, it's not being lived. So you have brothers that speak conscious this and conscious that, and then you might fall in that category because you claim to know stuff. You study conscious brothers, but you lay with a Neanderthal.
Nah, but you know what? You know what's funny? Here's the thing. All right, you're right. I fucked up. Oh, but here's the thing. I've been putting on to light lately. I've been watching these videos. There's a couple of conscious brothers who dated outside their race.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's looked down upon, but I don't know. I mean, right now, I would change my mind as soon as I get out this relationship.
Listen, bro. Listen. We not here to hear your excuses. We're here to make a point,
right.
And look scientifically. I know I joke, I know I tease and all that bullshit, but I'm here to look at it scientifically for the ones listening right now to get to the source beyond the surface.
Okay.
And the source of the source of the matter is we have all of us, every single one of us. I don't care how rich we are. I don't care how poor we are. I don't care where we grew up on the planet. We have all been conditioned by European colonization.
Right.
Therefore, the object of beauty is not us. The object of quality is just not us.
Yeah.
No matter how much we claim to love ourselves, no matter how much we claim to love each other, that's not our conditioning.
Yeah.
Our conditioning is the exact precise opposite.
Right.
Therefore, the results and the mindsets, the thoughts, and the manifestation that come from your mind will be the opposite. You will bump into either a white girl or a black woman who wants to be white. And she will be accepted by you instead of the black woman who loves to be black.
Right.
Because the black woman who loves to be black will hold you accountable for your white traits. You see, and that's something a lot of us brothers don't want to deal with. We don't want to hear the Hotep sister and the coconut oil sister and the blah, blah, why don't you wear an Ankh sister? We don't want to hear that. But we still don't want to be scrutinized or still don't want to be targeted for not having a black woman. So we'll pick a black woman that fits between those molds that can still condition us, that can still hold us as people or as a man that's for our people. But at the same time, we don't have to be accountable for dealing with that indigenous, so-called Aboriginal, African mindset from our black women who, by the way, your woman is a reflection of yourself or a reflection of your subconscious. So if as a black man you choose a white woman, what is your subconscious reflection?
I guess
your mate is a reflection of yourself. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why some people call homosexuality, what's the word I'm looking for? When you into yourself. That word where you just in love with yourself. You just into yourself. Actually, it comes from a Greek mythology. I forget the Greek person or so-called God's name, but he died because he couldn't get away from his own reflection. He laid by a lake and he stared at his reflection for so long he starved to death. He killed himself because he couldn't break himself away from himself. Really? I'm forgetting a word for it.
So he was in love with himself?
Yes, he was in love with himself. That's what they say is a form of homosexuality is, because think about it. A homosexual desires the same sex.
Okay.
I got a dick, you got a dick. Why the fuck I want a dick? I already got one.
Yeah, exactly.
But see, heterosexuality is about the nature of complementary aspect. See, I want a pussy because I ain't got a pussy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? I want the womanly curves because I don't have them. I want that soft and gentleness because I don't have it. I want that nurturing because I don't have it. I want that womb because I don't have it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Therefore, it completes me. Because as a man, I'm already incomplete. I'm already a degenerate aspect of her. So she completes me.
Right.
But when I desire another man, I'm truly, technically desiring myself all over again.
Right.
Just a better version of myself, depending on what side I claim to be on, what they call top or bottom. Because if I'm a bottom, you know, the super feminine man, I want the stronger version of myself. I want the masculine version of myself, and vice versa, so on and so forth. But let's not go too deep into that. I want to stick to the topic of you love what you know, and you are attracted to your conditioning. A lot of us, we talked about it outside. You notice how the black ghetto male, or really when you think about it, you don't even have to say it, it's most black men. But if you notice how black men that are not so-called conscious, for lack of a better word, seem to naturally attract and desire to the so-called white woman or white type features.
Okay.
But it's interesting because the only time you see true black women attracted to white men are the ones that are not raised in black communities or did not come up in black households. Even if you listen to certain black women who are hood or ratchet or whatever you want to call them, they always go, you know, I'm tired of these niggas. I'm about to get me a white man. And they never do though. They just say it. But then if you talk to a black woman that actually really has a white man, and that really loves her white man, she don't come from those areas and those communities where she was literally grew up and conditioned around black people.
What about Eve? Because Eve
she got a white man now?
Yeah, she married.
Oh, now? Really?
Like about
didn't know that.
They got married like 3 years ago.
Really? I did not know that.
She got married to a billionaire.
Hold on. Because Eve went from the stripper life. Eve went from the hood life. I mean, Eve even made songs about being abused by black men. So Eve can't count because Eve is falling into the same thing I just said.
That I'm tired of.
I'm tired of black men. I've been through the black men thing. Da 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 da.
Right.
So, you know, my point in the matter is, but notice the black man, no matter how many black women he was with or he wasn't with, he'll jump on a white woman in a second. And not only that, now look what you just said. Eve married a white billionaire or whatever the case is. Yeah. If you notice, the black women don't choose any white man. Chris Rock made a joke about this, one of my favorite comedians. He said black women ain't trying to fuck George from Seinfeld.
No, they not.
He said, but a nigga will fuck Rosie O'Donnell. You see what I'm saying? Because
we not picky though. Like
yes, that's true too. But we also have to remember the epitome of beauty has been white women.
Yeah. The
trophy to achieve, or the ultimate, how would you say? What's the word? I'm missing my words today. The ultimate get back at you aspect to this white man is taking his white woman.
Okay.
Now the black woman is different because her attraction and the beauty of a man didn't come from the white man. What she looks at is only the quality. That's why she'll go for a black man that projects European qualities. Yeah. But see, you go for a black woman that projects European traits.
Okay.
Big difference. See, she loves her black men. She's only attracted to black men. As a matter of fact, I could even go into the genetic, deep-rooted aspect that goes back to ancient times. And black women listening to this, you know what I'm talking about. There's just something inside them that is not attracted to other races of men.
Of course, yeah.
Us, we've been known to just go around and fuck any damn race of woman, whatever the fuck, and go on campaigns and expeditions and invasions and be fucking everything.
Spanish.
Whatever. We don't have that in us. And by the way, this is also what sets the foundation for her loyalty. Because nobody is more loyal than the black woman on this earth. You see what I'm saying? See, there's a big difference between loyalty and honor and all of this stuff. Because the loyalty has nothing to do with honor or anything of that stuff. Loyalty is just an attachment to something or someone. That's why if you notice, when a black woman has a best friend, she don't care how fat or ugly that friend is she's beautiful in her mind. She'll tell everybody, she has great personality and she's beautiful to me and all that bullshit because her loyalty to her friend is beyond anything that's surface or anything that's social. It's a deeper bond. See, women are like these. See, men have integrity and honor. Okay. It's a difference. Okay. You see, that loyalty is something that's just there from
it's like a
prior. Yeah, there you go. Well, you can use that term, that ride or die term, and that's exactly what they are. They're the most loyal beings on this planet, and that's why when you have this is why they took her from us, or how would you say, took us out of the picture to where she had nobody to be loyal to besides the white woman, and then eventually to the white establishment. Because she is a sustainer by nature. She sustains things. And what is loyalty besides sustaining of a relationship or sustaining of an attachment to something or someone? That's all it is. Notice they're loyal to their beauticians. They're loyal to every fucking thing. You see anything? They're loyal to a brand. They're loyal to an icon or a celebrity. I hear women all the time get ready to fight you if you say something about Cardi B or Beyonce. I'm like, don't you dare, I don't care what you say about her. You know what I'm saying? And they even try to make the negative things sound good. Because their loyalty is doing that. You see what I'm saying? And this is why they've used them as the perfect weapon against us. Because their nature to sustain and their loyalty is the perfect weapon. Because once you have a black woman's loyalty, you pretty much have her for life. And right now, they have her. Little by little, piece by piece, microscopic piece by piece, we might be getting her back. But right now, they have her loyalty. Her loyalty is to feminism, white feminism. Her loyalty is to modern day Eurocentric socialism. Her loyalty is to recessive Eurocentric trends, like hairstyles, celebrities, so on and so forth. That's what her loyalty is attached to. And the only time she's attracted, to a black man is when he projects these same Eurocentric traits and these same Eurocentric so-called qualities and ideologies, and then she becomes her ideal man. You dig what I'm saying? So once again, the topic right now is the source and the root of these desires and these attractions that we have for these white people. And where did it come from? It came from the fact that for the last 400, 500, 600, we could even go into 1,000, because I don't want to go too far back, but let's go into what we know. For the last 500 years, that European colonization has been embedded into our subconscious and conscious mind. So as soon as we see a European trait on any person of color, it becomes attractive to us. But the fact that we're looking at a person of color, we dismiss it as if we're not looking at that person in an attractive way because they have a European feature. You know? Oh no. But anyway,
wait, so real quick, how far you said? Okay, it's even longer than 1,000 years. What happened?
Well, we can go into one of the first color caste systems ever created by the Assyrians in Indus Kush Valley, giving birth to the so-called Dravidians, and we're talking about right now about 1,000 BC. So we're talking about a group of Indo-Europeans who invaded the areas of Indus Kush Valley, the areas of Mesopotamia, around these areas right there, and pretty much installed a color caste system, putting darkness and blackness on the bottom and putting whiteness on the top. I can go into so much stuff about that. They even had they introduced the system of Brahma worship, and also they had something called the laws of Manu. Manu, I believe. And it's crazy because, I mean, I'll tell you one aspect that they said. They said any Dravidian, and by the way, Dravidian is a byproduct. There was another name that was the original names of the dark skin or the black people there. But right now, Dravidian is the one that is in my conscious mind that I'm going to use right now. But it was another name that they called us that we were very dark. I mean, even to this day, you look at these Indians, they're blacker than us. But anyway,
very dark.
They had one law where they said the Dravidians could not come into certain parts of towns of the Assyrians unless it was late at night, and then on top of that, they had to carry brooms to sweep away their footprints. I'm gonna give you one more. They had another one where they said any Dravidian who cast their eyes upon any form of food, even their shadow, will contaminate the food.
Damn.
Like real deep shit. I could go on and on, but it's real deep shit that put them so. And to this day, the Dravidians are called untouchables.
Okay.
Untouchable. You're not touchable by human aspect. Yeah, I keep thinking that's another brother. But anyway,
wow.
We got to understand that this is something that creates a subconscious connection for generations to come. The first generation, we can go into slavery, but let's stay in this ancient time. The first generation of Indus Kush Valley inhabitants, we can call them Haraptans. That was also another name of them too. But the first generation of them knew what they were and battled against the Assyrians. But see, what we're really talking about here is the second and next generations after them. Because it is only the generation after the generation that knew.
Yeah.
See, this is a good topic because we're still talking about the same thing.
Okay.
The first generation had a knowingness. They knew what they were, who they were prior to the Assyrian, prior to Brahma worship. But it's the second generation born out of the invasion that will never know. And therefore hold the same ideology, the same concept, the same attraction, the same looking down upon themselves and each other because of that color caste system put in place prior to their birth. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. And then it's that second generation that gives birth to the next, and to the next, and to the next. I think, was it you? We talked about the generational aspect. We did a video on the races.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
About the fourth generation and being locked and all of that.
Yeah,
okay.
I remember that. Yeah.
Same concept. Same concept because you're you right now.
Right.
You know what you know right now.
Yeah.
Your future child knows nothing about what you know until you tell them.
Exactly.
But guess what? You die before you tell them.
Right. Now
the only one left to give information to your current child is someone else without your mind and with an opposite thinking of you. Exactly. Now that child of yours who still holds your genetics has now adopted a new mind that is the opposite of your thinking.
Right.
Therefore, it dictates their choices and thoughts upon themselves and upon what they're attracted to. So if I'm a Dravidian who's looked at as an untouchable and undesirable, what you think I want to go have sex with? Another Dravidian?
No, somebody.
No, I want to feel special enough to have anybody. Right. It don't even matter. They don't have to be white. They could be anybody that's one. Because remember, it was a caste system. There was multiple levels before you hit white anyway.
Okay.
So it don't have to be anybody that's white. It could just be another mulatto that finds me attractive one day. It's like, oh my God, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Brahma, for accepting me as this dirty, low caste divinity, and you actually want to have sex with me? Great. So now that mindset and that conditioning and that generational aspect is embedded into the subconscious and actually has the ability to pass on through the genetics. Even if you look at Indian or East Indian people today and so-called people in these, they're very strict about their children stepping outside of their culture and their race. They don't play that shit.
Even Asians too.
All of them don't really play that shit, but I'm sticking to the aspect of where we just came from with Indus Kush Valley because remember, they're the ones that were invaded by the Assyrian, the Indo-European, and established the very first and most ancient caste systems ever.
Right.
So therefore, to this day, that mindset and that subconscious embedded inside them, it's still in existence.
Yeah.
So if their child or their daughter brings home a woolly hair, triple dark skinned nigga,
it's a wrap.
She's gonna be outcast.
She's gonna be disowned too.
You see what I'm saying? So therefore, what does that create? That creates the majority of them. I'm sure there's exceptions because there's exceptions in everything. But that creates a majority of them sticking to their so-called own kind because they have no choice but to not step out of their own kind. So therefore, what does that create? That creates generations upon generations upon generations of false ideology, false history, and false thinking, establishing a brand new form of genetics. And a brand new form of subconscious thinking passed on from one generation to the next. We're looking at the same shit on this side, except it's much earlier. Because now we're looking at so-called past slaves who for the longest were taught that they were at the bottom. And to achieve a white woman is to reach the top. That mindset and subconscious is passed on to your offspring and generation afterward.